What's up, everybody? I'm Marcus.
I'm Ryan.
And together, we are the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Week 16 is officially in the books, man. I hate to say it, we got one more week of NFL football.
Gotta enjoy it while it's here.
It's been a long, tough, trying season for some of them teams out there. My team is one of them. But today we want to go over our power rankings for the NFL as well as the NBA.
Right.
Give you guys some of our standout players of this past weekend games, and also some games to watch, as it's still some playoff seeding still needs to be decided.
All right.
So I'll start. Of course, I gotta start with Peyton Manning.
Right.
You know, congratulations, hats off to you. You threw for 400 yards, but even more important, you threw for 4 TDs and you broke the record for the most TD passes in a year, which was currently held by Tom Brady.
Right.
So you got 51 there, and barring any miracles, upset, you're going to be the NFL MVP for the 5th time.
Right. He's kind of getting into rare air, with the category if he can win that Super Bowl.
If you can just get one more Super Bowl, man, that's just going to elevate you up that much higher. But shout out to Peyton Manning, great game for the Denver Broncos. Next up, I have to go out to Philadelphia. LaShawn Shady McCoy. And he rushed for 18 carries, had 18 carries, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns. And to me, from week 1, he's hands down been the best running back in the league.
Yeah, I think so, especially with the injuries with AP and some of the other players getting a little bit injured. I think hands down he has been playing the best consistently.
Yeah, you're going to make an all-pro team this year. So shout out to Shady McCoy. And next up, for the wideouts, I usually don't like to throw losing players as one of the top players, but Pierre Garçon, 10 catches, 144 yards, 1 touchdown. And I got to give you a special shout out because you broke Art Monk's team reception record.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Wow. And anytime your name could be mentioned with like Art Monk breaking his record, so you know you did something special. But you're sitting at 107 catches right now, 1,290 yards on a 3-12 team.
Pretty impressive. Very, very impressive for a team that struggled this year.
Yeah, so shout out to Pierre Garçon. I know y'all will be back next year. What about you on the defensive side of the ball? Any players that stood out this past weekend?
Yeah, there's a few players I want to shout out, a few more than normal, but I'm going to go through them quick. First, I want to start off with Swaggy P's Indianapolis Colts,
okay.
Mr. Jarrell Freeman. I think he might be one of the most underrated linebackers, kind of like Derek Johnson from Kansas City. 4 tackles, 1 sack, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. So a pretty complete game. They obviously upset the Chiefs. I don't really think anyone thought the Colts were going to play the way that they did in that game with that 23-7 victory. But I think they improved their seeding and their confidence as we're going into the playoffs. Jarrell Freeman does have 118 tackles for the year, 4.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, and 2 picks. So that's pretty good for a no-name linebacker in the NFL. So shout out to Jarrell Freeman. Hopefully he'll make maybe a Pro Bowl as a reserve. So nice play from obviously Jarrell Freeman. So shout out to you. Next player I want to go to, defensive end Robert Quinn. Wow. This guy is beasting right now. 6 tackles, 3 sacks against my Bucks. You can't stop this man. I mean, this guy is on another level. He's first in the NFL now in sacks. He passed OG Robert Mathis from the Colts, and now he's got 18. He's in sole possession of first. 7 forced fumbles for the year. So a pretty solid year, 52 tackles. So pretty amazing that a guy only has 52 tackles at DN position and has 18 sacks from the 52 tackles. So one key stat I want to throw out there too is he's a 3rd-year player from North Carolina, and we usually think of North Carolina players are basketball, right? You think, but obviously Julius Peppers, and you got a couple names obviously now that are starting to prove that maybe there is a little honey hole.
There's a little more than just basketball there.
A little bit more than basketball out there. So shout out to Robert Quinn. You're playing great. Obviously a Pro Bowl, and maybe
it don't help. He got Kyle Long out there. I mean, not Kyle Long, Chris Long out there with him, and also Michael Brockers.
Yeah, and Laurinaitis.
So that's a nice young defense up and coming. Watch out for the Rams.
Yeah, and don't think Robert Quinn's going to slow down anytime soon. He might end up having the top spot at DN for years to come. So shout out to Robert Quinn. Third, I want to go to the Eagles, Trent Cole. So Trent Cole, he's kind of had an up and down year, but obviously last game was pretty solid. 3 tackles, 3 sacks, so pretty solid. Obviously, you stopped the Bears, 54-11. I don't think anyone saw that coming. 54 tackles for the year, 8 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. So, pretty solid year. Yeah. I think I would expect a little bit higher on the numbers, but overall, he's been playing pretty well. And if you really think about him in general as a player, he's a 5th rounder. So he might be the best 5th-round linebacker in the NFL. Yeah. He's from Cincinnati. It's his 9th year. Very underrated, but he is starting to become a little bit more popular, to people. So eventually I think they'll start saying his name a little bit more often. So shout out to Trent Cole, playing well. Next, I want to go really quickly to 2 last players. Patrick Willis, linebacker for the 49ers. He had 18 tackles combined. Wow. Right? Usually you're not getting that high number, right? 49ers, 34-24. It's pretty ridiculous when you can get that many tackles. I mean, sometimes it takes 2 to 3 games to get those type of tackle numbers. So shout out to you. You got 98 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. So very solid year from Patrick Willis. But the last player is the showcase player, Mr. Luke Kuechly. Wow. All right, so I'm going to read this stat line to you, and I don't think you're going to believe it. All right, so all-pro linebacker from, obviously, the Carolina Panthers, right? You won 17-13 against the Saints. Right. It was a must-win game. 24 tackles combined. 24 in one game by one player, and he had a pick. Pretty amazing, and 146 tackles for the year, 2 sacks, 4 interceptions. So I don't know if you can really play any better than that. 24 tackles. Have you ever remembered a player that many?
I'm speechless over here. I think he stole Cam Newton's Superman cape for that game.
Wow, yeah. I've never seen a player go from sideline to sideline, from the hash to the hash, and make those plays like Urlacher and Ray Lewis used to do. So shout out to Kuechly. We definitely got a new Kuechly, man. new superstar in the NFL.
Oh yeah, he's definitely there. I think he could have made. He could have just played defense with the Saints by himself.
Oh, man, it's pretty amazing to think how good he really is. I mean, what's next? Is he going to get a 30-tackle game? I mean, nothing is out of the ordinary for this player. So shout out to Luke Kuechly, playing great. And we want to transition real quick to over NFL power rankings and maybe games to watch. What kind of rankings do we got this week?
So we're going to go with our power rankings. This is probably the next to last one that we're going to do this year.
Yeah, sad to say.
So first up, I'll go Denver Broncos by default because the Seahawks lost. So I'll slide them down to 2. But Denver is number 1, 12-3 overall record, and Peyton just broke the record. I read an interesting stat. 21 teams don't have 51 touchdown passes in the last 2 years.
Wow.
So that puts it in perspective, kind of the things that Peyton did this year. So hats off to the Denver Broncos, number 1. Number 2, you go to Seattle Seahawks, 12-3. Tough loss at home to the Arizona Cardinals, but to me, they're still the toast of the NFC, and it's still going to run through them.
Yeah, there's a little blueprint, though, now, with that Cardinals front 7 on that D, so if you can get pressure on Russell, obviously it shows you're not going to blow the Seahawks out, but if you can win by 3-7, I mean, that's all it takes.
Yeah, shout out to Seattle Seahawks at number 2. Number 3, I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers at 11-4. They really showed me a lot. How far has Cam Newton come?
A long way, especially from his rookie year. Everyone was on him. Then last year, they were down on him, saying, "Oh, he's garbage. He's not." But now he's in his 3rd year, and he kind of put it together. It also helps. You got Luke Kuechly and a great D too.
So man, that dude Luke Kuechly, man, wow. I wish I had 10 Luke Kuechly.
Yeah, right.
Man. All right, number 4, we're gonna go with who else but the New England Patriots.
Okay.
They sitting at 11-4, and they won another AFC East division crown.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, surprise. And Wes Walker, who?
Guess they don't need him.
His replacement, Julius Edelman, is 5 catches from 100.
Getting there.
So they kind of got that plug-and-play system, next man up. And it's working for the Patriots. And the last team, San Francisco 49ers, winners of 5 in a row. And they do still have an outside chance of winning the division. Of course, they need some help from the St. Louis Rams against the Seahawks. So good luck with that. All right, next up, I want to go over some of our important games to watch this weekend. All games with playoff implications. Kansas City versus San Diego.
Key game.
That's a key game. Now, San Diego is sitting on the outside looking in, but they need help, but they first have to take care of business against the Chiefs. And I think the Chiefs was going to rest Alex Smith I was reading, and they're going to play Chase Daniel.
Yeah, and the Chiefs have been sliding a little bit, and if you think about it, based on quarterback play this year, Phillip Rivers has probably been top 5 statistically.
Oh, yeah.
So there's always a chance that the Chargers might be able to get that victory. It's not impossible to think that they can't beat the Chiefs because, look at the Colts. They did it last week.
Yeah, the way he's playing, I wouldn't mind seeing Phillip Rivers in the playoffs. Next up, the 49ers versus Arizona.
Huge game.
So, because if the Arizona win, they're going to be 11-5 and not make the playoffs.
Yeah, so obviously the Saints have to lose to Tampa Bay.
Okay.
So Tampa Bay has to beat the Saints, and then Arizona has to take care of business at home, right, against the Niners. But, yeah, for some reason, if they don't make it, shout out to Bruce Arians.
Yeah, what a year.
It shows you how good, with Carson Palmer, they don't really have a great team. They have a good defense, but offensively, there's holes.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're winning 11 games maybe with Carson Palmer. I don't think there's very many coaches in the NFL that can do that.
That's all Bruce Arians there. So shout out to Bruce. You did a great job this year. Next up, I'm going to go Green Bay versus Chicago for the NFC North title.
Right.
Now, fans wouldn't have this any other way.
Right.
2 of the most storied franchises in the NFL fighting it out.
A lot of bad blood. I am worried about Aaron Rodgers, though, coming back.
Aaron Rodgers is back with the collar ball.
If he takes one big hit, that might jeopardize his career a little bit. Is it really worth it for just one game?
Yeah.
And your team isn't going to go to the Super Bowl this year, so is it really worth it? But
now they obviously believe in him, and they're going to take a chance. Cutler, you got to hold it down at home, or this might be your last game in the Chicago Bear uniform.
Right.
And the Sunday night game
special
for the NFC East Championship, we got Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Chip Kelly.
All right.
Nick Foles. Shady McCoy.
All right.
Against the Dallas Cowboys.
All right.
Dez Bryant.
Okay.
Jason Witten.
Okay.
And Kyle Orton for the win.
Okay. Are you sure?
I'm going Kyle Orton for the win.
Yeah, maybe John Kitna?
Maybe John Kitna. Get off the couch, get on up in there. But
right.
Hey, it's a tough game. It's in Dallas. I know Dallas going to come out fighting hard with a lot to prove. Is the season that they have, and to say that they still has a chance to get into the playoffs without their star quarterback Tony Romo. He's injured, had back surgery. He's out for the year. They kind of underachieved, but I still think they're in the position that they wanted to be at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and I think the only way the Cowboys are going to win the game is if they get a special teams touchdown and maybe a couple of defensive, obviously interceptions, fumbles. Okay. They're going to have to put themselves in good position to make it easy for whoever's going to be QBing them so that they can kind of shorten down the playbook and make it easy for them.
Hey, man, Kyle Orton for the win. Kyle Orton for the win. All right, now let's transition over to the basketball, NBA.
All right.
Let's go to our NBA power rankings.
All right. So we're going to start off with NBA power rankings, and we'll start off number 5, San Antonio Spurs.
The Spurs.
So they're always going to the OGs. You're 23-7. Last week you defeated the Raptors 112-99. They're not very good, so you should win that game. You lost to the Rockets 98-111.
Okay.
They got Harden, and you got obviously he's got a little injury now though, but you got Howard, and they're starting to click. Chandler Parsons. They got some pretty good, nice role players as well. Jeremy Lin, and they defeated. Obviously, you lost to the Rockets, and then you defeated the Mavs yesterday, 116-107. So obviously that's a nice key win. But Parker, Duncan, and Ginobili are averaging 43 points per game, so that's pretty solid.
They're still holding it down.
I would like to see them about 50 to 60, but we're still early on in the year, so shout out to the Spurs. You're still playing well. Number 4, I got to go Miami Heat. Okay. It seems like they're getting closer and closer to get to that top level, but you're 22-6. You defeated last week the Kings 122-103. The Hawks 121-119 in overtime, and you defeated the Lakers on Christmas 101-95. And obviously you saw those oops from Wade to LeBron.
That's the Heatles, man.
Wow.
As they call them.
Yeah.
What more do you expect?
Pretty ridiculous. And between LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, you are averaging 25 for LeBron, 20 for Wade, and 15 for Bosh. So that's about what you would assume that they would be at. They're not really ball hogging it. They're playing as a team. But like you were saying, the last 3 weeks, they're coasting right now.
Yeah,
they're not really, they're not really pressing right now. Obviously, defense is a little, kind of shady here and there. They're kind of, they're taking their chances, when they want to.
When you see the big games against Indiana and teams like that, you'll see the Heat play a lot harder.
Yeah, but when you're playing Toronto, Milwaukee Bucks, you're going to be coasting a little bit, so I understand. But shout out to Miami Heat, you're still in the top 5. Number 3, Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay. I really like this team, 23-5, but today the big news is Russell Westbrook has another injury, and he's going to have knee surgery, obviously, today, and he's going to be out after the All-Star break. So that means for these other teams in the top 5 and the teams below the top 5, like the Rockets, and they got a chance to kind of creep up. And Westbrook was playing pretty good. He was averaging 21 a game, and you already got Durant, one of the best players in the league. He's averaging 28. Playing probably the best in his career. Right. But the key now is Reggie Jackson, right, and Jeremy Lin. Or excuse me, not Jeremy Lin, but Jeremy Lamb. Okay. So it's going to be a real key for these role players to step their game up because they're going to need some scoring, obviously, with this big hole. But up to this point, good start, for the Thunder. But I know, obviously, with the fan base, they're a little worried now, because if another knee injury, and if you bring him back too soon, what happens if he gets injured again? This could really halter their chances for an NBA Finals, run that they're trying to make. So, but so far, so good for now. So, number 3, Oklahoma City Thunder, shout out to you. Number 2, I got, not to be biased here, because I was going between 2 teams, Blazers and Pacers. But for now, based on record, I'm going to go Indiana Pacers. Okay. And I think they will probably take the top spot in the next couple weeks. But you defeated the Rockets 114-81, the Celtics 106-79 last week, and the Nets 103-86. So some poundings. Yeah. You obviously been smoking some teams.
What's good teams supposed to do against teams that's not on your
right? You're supposed to smash these teams that aren't as good. And it's nice to see Paul George. He's at 24 points per game. Nice solid all-star numbers. But a key player, I think, is the new player they brought in, Luis Scola, the bench player. He's averaging 8 a game. Nice minutes. He fouls a lot. He likes to rebound. He likes to throw some elbows, and he gives them a little bit more toughness.
Give him a little edge.
A little edge with Hibbert. So when they have them in together, they can cause problems. So I like that little lineup. And Pacers, they're moving now. They're 23-5. So they're rolling right now, and I don't see them slowing anytime soon. And then number 1, biased or not, if you look at the record, number 24-5. Portland Trailblazers.
I don't think it's biased. They playing their butts off right now.
We're probably
hard to beat.
Yeah, we're probably overachieving a little bit. We did lose earlier in the week, 109-120 to the T-Wolves. It was 4 games and 5 nights on the road. No excuses though. They should have played better. You got down by 37. You cut it to 5. So they're still showing heart in these losses. So obviously, shout out to the Blazers, and we beat the Pelicans 110-107.
Great game.
Great game. That was a real tough, hard played game. Anthony Davis played really well, and then we had a showcase game last night on TNT in front of the whole country, in front of Charles Barkley. Since he loves the Blazers so much. And they won 116-112 in overtime at home against the Clippers, and we got the Miami Heat tomorrow. Oh, so now it's game time to show, in the Northwest, if Rip City is for real, and if somehow, some way we can get a victory, that'll kind of cement and give us a little bit more credibility.
That'll shut everybody up, man. For a little while.
Yeah, and LA had a nice 32-10 rebound game. Last night, 32 points, 10 rebound game, and we're gonna need him to step it up. It's real big tomorrow. Probably with a 30 to 35 point game.
He's an MVP candidate to me.
Yeah, he's been playing.
He's got to be up there, top 3 candidates for MVP.
Yeah, pretty surprising. He's been elevating his game. And Batum, Matthews, Lopez, Lillard, everyone stepping up. So shout out to the Blazers. Any players you want to shout out from this week?
I want to shout out to the NBA Players of the Week. In the East, it was Dwayne Wade. He averaged 26 points last week as the Heat went 3-0. And in the West, it was Blake Griffin. Okay. He averaged 26 and 11 rebounds, and the Clippers went 4-0. Okay. All right. Now, you guys can hit me up on Twitter, MarcusHill_NWSF.
And Orion_NWSF.
Hit us up on Facebook.com/NW Sports Fanatics.
We want to shout out our sponsors. Thank you for all the love and support that you're giving us.
I appreciate it. Shout out to my man Banner Bob for the banner in the background. You can check him out at designshack.net. Also, follow us on Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. I'm Marcus, this Orion, and together
we are Northwest Sports Fanatics. Shout out to the Ducks, Alamo Bowl, Texas on Monday. Let's go.